Robin for helping out with that. It's not easy being away 3 out of 4 weeks a month down in Washington while she's home dealing with rambunctious teenagers. So it's a difficult task, and I appreciate it very much, Robin. So thank you. Yes, applause. And one more thing about Robin before I finish up, and I'll say in a moment. But over the last 2 years, I've had an honor of working with all of you, and I've had the honor of having your support, and I very, very, very much appreciate it. And what I've learned over the last couple of years in Congress is that it really does work to be bipartisan like I tried to be. And it really did work when I reached across the aisle. And it does, I think it's a blueprint for what we can do going forward in Congress. I have 15 bills passed Congress this term. 15, think about that. And they have to do with national security. They have to do with anti-heroin efforts. It has to do with keeping airports safe and some other things. And one thing they told me that they think it's more bills passed than any freshman in the history of our country. So I'm pretty proud of that, and 6 have been signed into law. But it's not because I'm some rocket scientist, because I'm not. It's just that when you put down the swords and you start shaking hands with the other side and speaking to them, things get done. And we have a balance of some people on the far left and the far right of both parties that are kind of 100% or nothing attitude. That doesn't work. Ronald Reagan himself said that I'll take 60% now and I'll keep working the other 40%. I subscribe to that. And he got a lot done. So moving forward, I hope to do the same thing. We really try to define my opponent as a partisan politician, and we're going to continue to do that going forward. And the Republican Women's Caucus here is getting better and stronger, and my family's contributing. My sisters, 2 of my 5 sisters are very little in the city, and I appreciate them being here. And my sister Margaret, the third one, made cupcakes over there, which are very good. And if you need a beer afterwards, Kitty Hoynes is open until what time, Cindy? Cindy loves Kitty Hoynes. So I want to thank you all very much. It's a busy time for us. It's an exciting time. The polls look very strong, but like someone once told me, if you're up by 20%, act like you're down by 20%, and that's how we're campaigning right now. We're going to run through the tape and do the best we can. I got into this because I wanted to settle the seat down and provide better leadership to Syracuse. I hope to provide better leadership, but I've got to settle the seat down because I want them to stop bombarding the airways with this garbage and leave us alone and let us just govern. That's the goal. So it takes a lot of sacrifice from my family and from all of you, and I appreciate that. Now, before I go, the last thing I'll tell you is when John Boehner was in office, he had a birthday song. And his birthday song was, "This is your birthday song, it doesn't last too long," and then you yell, "Hey," all right? You guys got that? All right, it's my wife's birthday today. So, this is your birthday song, it doesn't last too long. Okay, let's make it nice and loud. Here's a good send off here. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
This is your birthday song, it doesn't last too long.
Hey! Thank you guys very much. Have a good night.
Josephine Thomas, and myself, we welcome you to this event. I would like to, and Michele Cain, the event chair of our committee, Michele Cain, who was as some of you may know, and some of you may not know, Senator DeFrancisco is running this year. That people may not know this because he does not have an opponent, but he is running and appreciates your support. And so we have lawn signs here. So if you would like a lawn sign for Senator DeFrancisco, you have some good spots to put these. See me after, and we'll get some signs for you. The senator. We'd like to thank all our sponsors also, the sponsors of our event tonight, and the senator is one of our sponsors who has also graciously agreed to be our MC for the evening to introduce our candidates. Senator DeFrancisco.
It's amazing how people who work for you say nice things. It's just so easy. It's so easy. You may wonder why I may be emceeing today rather than a woman at a women's Republican Club event. And it's very simple. I got new glasses and the chicks really dig me. So they asked would I please help out tonight, and I'm more than happy to do it, because we got a bunch of wonderful candidates, some of whom have traveled a long way to be here. And that applies to our first candidate that I'm going to call on, Wendy Long, for the United States Senate. I was with Wendy at the state fair. She's working her tail off. And Joe Tangretti is doing a great job right from our area, helping her throughout the state. And she's running, who are you running against? Schumer? You know, if you looked at Schumer's promises over all the years he's been in office, they're the same ones every year. At the same day, every year, he says the same thing he's going to do, and he doesn't do it. So it's enough of that. We want somebody who can get things done, and Wendy Long is that person.
If you haven't gone to the state fair yet with Senator DeFrancisco, you need to tag along with him. He is unbelievable. You can't even move 2 feet without him being stopped by somebody and everybody. He was the best person to hang on to, and he showed me around. We had a great, great day at the fair. Anyway, some of you I've met, many of you I've met, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm Wendy Long, and I am running against the most odious politician. Well, that's a hard contest in New York, but lifetime face of the corrupt establishment, Chuck Schumer. And we need to stop him from becoming the majority leader of the U.S. Senate. Doesn't that sound like a good goal? My very first job, some of you know this, was shoveling horse manure. And I've had a lot of jobs since then. I'm a practicing lawyer. I was a partner in a New York law firm. I was a law clerk for Justice Clarence Thomas at the Supreme Court. I most recently have been a homeschooler, my kids and some other kids. But the job that I'm looking for now, to go to Washington and clean up the mess that Chuck Schumer has made, is the most like that very first job I had of shoveling horse manure. Because he has made a huge, huge mess in a lifetime in Washington. And if there's anything we know about this year, it's that the American people, and I believe all New Yorkers, of all parties, not just this great Republican Party, are so fed up with lifetime politicians who go to Washington, forget the people at home, and stand there and try to enrich themselves. He is bought and paid for by the hedge funds, the private equity firms, and the big banks on Wall Street, the big pharmaceutical companies, big immigration interests. This is who he's serving now. And he's recently announced that his number one goal, if he's reelected, which he won't be with your help, is to turn the Supreme Court of the United States into a progressive group. That's his goal. So you already know this, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is on the line in this election, and that's why I'm here, away from my kids, fighting for you, because I know you are as fed up as I am with this situation. Our country is at the edge of a cliff right now, and we need to yank it back. And with the great slate of candidates we have as Republicans, I know that we can. Starting with Donald Trump and Mike Pence at the top of our ticket. I'm right under them. I'm very proud to be right under them. And right under me is going to be John Katko and Claudia Tenney. I'm not sure if they're congressional candidates. We're going to keep the House Republican. And it's a real honor to fight with them. Claudia's here, and I know John spoke earlier. We need to do 3 things. We need to make sure that this country is a country that operates under the rule of law. And I think we know that political correctness is the enemy of that. Political correctness is the enemy of justice and truth. And this country, to a large degree, isn't operating under the rule of law anymore. And we see that in our presidential nominee on the other side, Hillary Clinton. That we have borders, because without borders, we don't have a country. And we need a government that looks out for Americans and its own people first.
Tell them like it is, sister.
We need to get this economy growing again so that people can have jobs and dignity and take care of their families and have respect for private property in our Constitution. I'm going to be fighting for all of those things. We just found out, this hasn't been announced yet, that I'm debating Chuck Schumer on October 30th. It'll be broadcast statewide. And for any of you who make it over to Troy that night near Albany, I would love to see you there and have some support, but it'll be broadcast statewide. In the meantime, here's what I really need from you. The media, the mainstream media, have you seen the TV commercials, by the way, that say Chuck Schumer is the preferred candidate of the media establishment? They were running upstate, so I hope some people saw them. Anyway, the mainstream media has me in a blackout. So here's what I need from you. We have a sign-up sheet. I need volunteers. I need you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter. And what I've done, this is my smart little way to outfox Chuck Schumer in his Sunday press conference. I am holding every Sunday night a Facebook Live session. So even if you're not on Facebook, sign up for Facebook. It's my town hall with the world, and reporters are welcome to ask questions, as are all of you. So you get to see me talking live, answering questions. So it's Facebook, Sunday night, 7:30. And I asked you to sign up. Oh, and go to my website, please, wendylong.com. You know, one more final thought. Newt Gingrich was with us at the Republican convention in Cleveland, and he addressed the New York delegation, and he said, I believe we Republicans can win New York State this year. And he said, if you do, as you should, you will make history. So I want to ask everyone in this room to help me go out and make history this year. Thank you.